everything my opponent dropped in her last speech. You have no shortage of reasons to vote in opposition in this debate. First, she fails to respond to my observation that she ignores the actor in this debate resolution, which is the UN. In fact, she feeds that claim by giving you another 3 minutes that she never mentions the UN in. Even if you like her arguments, she's never told you in this debate how the UN can trigger the ethical change she wants, or why the UN is uniquely critical to making that change happen. She doesn't have a prima facie case. Cast your opposition ballot right here. Next, she ignores the jurisdictional argument in my first contention, which was supported by the UN Charter in Article 2, subpoint 7, saying the UN cannot act in domestic matters. Also note my evidence that the UN doesn't recognize animal rights, so there's no legal framework for it to act within. She concedes both these points through her silence. She has to prove the UN is capable of passing a resolution before convincing you that they should pass that resolution. Even if you think she has a prima facie case, you need to look here before going elsewhere on the flow. This is another clear opposition voter in this round. Next, in my second contention, I told you Taiji is non-unique. This is where I flowed her challenge for evidence showing the Faroe Islands use similar slaughter techniques, but I'm not sure why she asked for it. It's on page 4 of her own Butterworth evidence. I also linked the CNN story saying it. Meanwhile, she ignores the bigger picture, which is if she singles out Taiji, through her silence she's giving a nod of approval to the same behavior being done in other locations the UN doesn't name. That's both discriminatory and counter to the principles of the UN. Considering her entire case is premised upon ethics, this becomes another area where you can vote in opposition, because she doesn't create an ethical world where she treats similar cases differently. My third contention is that the status quo is solving. I show you how public scrutiny from the Cove forced a change in the slaughter method and helped reduce the number of dolphins killed in Taiji by more than 1/3 in just 5 years. Things are getting better now, and in case she tries to tell you that they're not getting better quick enough, go back to her opening constructive where she tells you near the end of her speech that it's going to be a lengthy process. Also remember, she told you that the UN cannot stop the horror show. She doesn't challenge my data. The numbers speak for themselves. Vote op here. Go to her case. I told you that her Butterworth and Sipes position contradict each other. Also, does this speech ask? All she does in her speech is ask how. I explained that already. Listen to my constructive again and extend what I said there. She doesn't mention Butterworth in her rebuttal. I'm assuming she's dropping him to get out from under the contradiction. Please do not let her resurrect this point in her final 2 minutes. That brings us to Sipes. She clearly doesn't understand my challenge here. Yes, Sipes is every bit as reliable as a newspaper article, but Sipes is not as reliable as a manual count when it comes to Kantian ethics. In that comparison, Sipes loses every time. Reading another page of Sipes' unsigned master's thesis doesn't change this. I'm winning this point as well. To summarize, you have 5 clear voting reasons from the opposition constructive. She drops Butterworth and I'm winning on Kantian ethics. Do not let her shift her position in her final 2 minutes. And please vote in clear opposition in this round. Thank you.